Hey, what's up? It's DeHuff. It's another episode of DeHuff Uncensored coming from the Storms Bros Junk Removal Studios. Guys, today we have a special episode. I'm sitting down with my former colleague, a former NFL great, played with the Steelers, Seahawks, Patriots, CU Football Hall of Fame. The guy is just amazing when it comes to football, but the cherry on top with this guy is he knows his stuff when it comes to snakes. We're getting into snake season, especially here in Colorado as everything warms up. And CNN uses him as their snake expert. And I figure he's our expert too, okay? Jeez. It's Chad freaking Brown. This interview is brought to you by Roof Goat USA. Check them out at roofgoatusa.com. Let's do it. Let's catch up with Chad Brown. Anytime I think of reptiles or snakes, things that frighten me, I think of Chad Brown. Chad, how's it going?
I'm doing well, my friend. And yes, I can be your go-to reptile slash animal guy and answer all the darn questions you may have.
I have a lot. I have a lot. And the reason why this got brought up is I'm going through Facebook and I follow the local, I think it's like North Glen Police Department and stuff. And they sent out a thing warning about, what is it? Oh my God, I can't think of it. The rattlesnakes. Jeez. Sorry, my brain doesn't work very well. So rattlesnakes, I have to ask you because my son has no fear when it comes to snakes. He has a great program at his school when it comes to reptiles. He's in a reptile club. It's really cool. But there's people like me, you're walking your dog, you see a snake. What should you do? I'm afraid that he's going to be overconfident when it comes to a snake and grab
Yep.
something and be like, I thought it was a gardener snake. No, but what should somebody do? What are the warning signs, I guess, if it's a rattlesnake? How do you know that? And then what should you do?
Well, rattlesnakes are pretty awesome because they have a rattle. And so rattlesnakes don't want to have things get too close to them. So they're going to typically issue a warning rattle. Now, not all rattlesnakes have a healthy rattle, so you may not hear it. Sometimes baby snakes don't know quite how to rattle. So you've got that. So generally, I would say someone who's not a reptile person, there's no real win for you or for the snake to get too close.
Mhm.
If you're not aware it's a rattlesnake and it bites you, well, that would suck. And if you're determined to pick it up with a shovel or a hoe or a rake or something, chances are you could hurt the animal. So,
Most hoes don't like to touch snakes. I'm just saying. Hey, from experience, you know what I'm saying?
oh my goodness, yes, yes. Hoes and snakes don't go well together. Um, so
Well,
generally, just keep away. I mean, I wish I could tell you some kind of great handling advice, but you're so much of a novice, you're not going to necessarily know what you're handling. And while rattlesnakes do rattle, bull snakes in Colorado and are prominent throughout the Midwest, they also rattle their tails. And if they do it against some leaves or some bark or something like that, it can sound to the unexperienced like a rattlesnake as well. So bull snakes are often killed because they rattle their tail. They don't have a rattle. They're not poisonous like a rattlesnake, but they mimic that same behavior because it tends to scare things away. So there's also that aspect. You could misidentify the animal. Oh, this one's just a bull snake. It's definitely not a rattlesnake. And then next thing you know, you got a trip to the ER coming. And rattlesnake venom is a venom that damages tissue. So there's all types of snake venom. There's some venom that prevents your blood from carrying oxygen, so essentially suffocate. There's other venoms that you will internally bleed to death because it breaks down the way your blood works. Rattlesnakes tend to be tissue destroyers. So all my friends who have unfortunately suffered a rattlesnake bite, they got a massive part of their hand or their forearm missing because that tissue becomes so destroyed and so necrotic, it has to be kind of cleared off. So I've got a friend who's missing half of his forearm muscle from a rattlesnake bite. So That's pretty scary shit. Stay away. It's
R-
my best advice.
Right. And then there's always the myth, I guess it's a myth from what I heard. I just want to verify with you. Don't suck out the venom, right?
Yes, pulling out your buck knife and slicing two X's on the fang marks and sucking out your venom. Yeah, that's never going to work. Your bloodstream moves pretty quick, and you're not going to be able to suck it out. You're going to end up with a massive mouthful of your own blood, and it's not going to be able to, affect the venom already moving in your bloodstream. And now you've got a possible infection site as well. So don't do it.
Okay, that's good to know. Unless you got one of those hose we were talking about, and they're like super, turbocharged suction. Just saying,
Right.
just some. Guys, we'll get back into the interview with NFL legend Chad Brown here in a second. But here's the thing: when it comes to roof repairs, you're going to want to go with the best. You're going to want to go with the GOAT. So who's the GOAT? It's Roof Goat USA. Check them out at roofgoatusa.com right now. They've been in business for over 24 years. They understand how things work. Whether it's a repair, replacement, insurance claims, they can handle it all. And speaking of handling it all, maybe you have a commercial building you want to get your roof repaired on. Maybe it's your residential. No problem. Maybe it's a metal roof. Maybe it's just classic shingles. Doesn't matter. Roof Goat USA can handle it all. Again, go to roofgoatusa.com right now and see what I'm talking about. It's really easy for them and for you to set up a free evaluation of your roof. They'll come out, they'll figure what's going on with it. And here's what's cool. No matter what's going on with your roof, you get it replaced, all that stuff. Guess what they do? Roof Goat USA puts a guarantee on it. How big of a guarantee? A freaking huge guarantee. That's what kind of guarantee. 30-year coverage on labor and materials. That's 30 years from date of install. That's the Roof Goat USA way. You got to check them out. Go to roofgoatusa.com right now. Again, roofgoatusa.com and experience the Roof Goat USA difference today. Hey, Chad, it's funny we bring this up. I have to ask you because you have the best stories. I had you on this program within the first few months of back in 2021. And I still get people saying, I love that. Can you share at least one of your stories with us again for the people that didn't hear it and maybe for the people that may have heard one before? Pick one, whatever you want to do. But if you could share a great snake story, I would love it.
Okay, well, since you have brought up hose, this kind of relates to that in a certain way.
Okay.
So, in Indonesia, when the businessmen travel from parts of Southeast Asia, sometimes they will stop at a snake venom farm. And because it's reputed that if you ingest the snake gallbladder fluid, that'll help you when you are at the local hoe place later that evening. So, yes, these places are set up on the roadsides in Indonesia, and basically
That's
the folks who
convenient.
are,
I'm just going to say convenience.
yes, they are the folks who are proprietors. They pay snake handlers to go out and buy and capture all the venomous snakes in the area. And so my partner and I went to go visit to document the snakes, not to participate in any underground activities. We went to see what the snakes were. And they actually had some unusual snakes that we were looking for on this particular trip to Indonesia. They had some banded crates, which is a very odd, weird, triangular shaped snake that's venomous. But the majority of the folks who come and frequent this business are looking for cobra gallbladder liquid. So they had a number of cobras at this snake farm. And so while the guy who owns the snake farm is pulling out snakes out of these rudimentary cages kind of behind the scenes of the snake farm, he pulls out a couple of cobras. And the cobras are hooding up and doing that cobra thing, kind of moving around. and he's got 3 or 4 cobras out, and they're kind of biting at each other, trying and doing that cobra thing. And as he's talking to us and talking about some of the other snakes, and I've got my video camera out and I'm videotaping this whole thing, he casually kind of leans back and puts his hand down on the top of the cage where the cobras were. And these cobras, see his hand, and as he goes to pick up his hand, one of them, pow, bites him on his hand. And you could see me with my camera turn from the snakes to the guy who I'm there with. Oh shit, did that dude just get bit? Oh my gosh, he just got bit. This is crazy. I don't want to see somebody die. So I'm going through this thoughts out loud. And by the time I get my eyes back to the guy who owns the snake farm, he's now holding his hand. It's like, okay, he's been bit. This is not good. So he explains to us in rudimentary English that I've been bit before, I'm going to be okay. As all this is happening, a customer pulls up. So he looks around and he grabs the cobra that bit him, of course, who's now going to be the victim in this cobra show.
Revenge.
So the guy, yes. So the guy goes out and does the handling of the cobra, shows the guy the cobra, does all that. And eventually he's got a large stump in the courtyard of this facility, and he's got a machete. So he takes the cobra and kind of pulls it along the stump and whack, cuts the cobra's head off. He takes the now headless cobra, squeezes out some blood into a mug.
Gross.
So now there's cobra blood in the mug. Cuts open the cobra's belly, finds the gallbladder organ, pops that with a pin. The gallbladder liquid goes into this mug. Pours a shot of like some Indonesian whiskey into the same mug, stirs it around, hands it to the businessman, shoots it back, shoots it down. It's got blood in the corner of his mouth.
Gross.
It's about as nasty as you can imagine. And that guy's off to go do whatever he's going to do. Meanwhile, the guy who's now just did the Cobra show, he's clearly not feeling well. He's starting to drool a bit. He's starting to get a glazed look in his eyes. He's starting to be a bit disoriented. So the cobra venom is now clearly beginning to have an effect. So I turned to my friend, my reptile friend. I'm like, dude, I do not want to see somebody die. I did not travel to Indonesia to see some dude die. I came here to see some cool reptiles and do some cool shit. This was not on my list. I want to leave before this all goes down. And so my friend's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm pretty damn sure. I'm pretty confident. I don't want to see death, human death today. I've already witnessed a snake have his head hacked off and somebody drinking snake blood.
Yeah.
I've seen my gore limits for today. So as we're leaving, the guy who owns a snake farm kind of goes back into a clearing in the woods, and he's leaning back on a tree, and his eyes are starting to roll back into his head, and his arms are starting to go limp. So that is the last sight I have of this guy.
How long ago was that?
This was after my rookie year. So, we're going on 30 plus years now.
So that guy's been dead for 30 plus years because of you.
He claimed he wasn't going to die. He claimed he was fine. He'd been bitten many times before. But I left. I got out of there. So that was pretty wild as far as a reptile experience goes.
Oh my gosh, such good stuff. Guys, we'll get back to the interview in just a second, but real quick, put your junk in our trunk. Storms Bros Junk Removal. If your home, garage, office, or yard is looking like a disaster, it's okay. We get it. Storms Bros Junk Removal can help relieve the stress and take that junk off your hands and dispose of it without you having to worry anymore about it. It happens to all of us. I've been there, done that. it's tough when you got a bunch of junk piling up. But that's why Storms Bros junk removal can help you and ease that stress. Like I said, whether it's couches, sofas, futons, mattresses, box springs, appliances, electronics, maybe it's drywall, maybe you're doing a construction project around the house. It doesn't matter. They can handle it all. Go to stormsbrothersjunk.com right now. Again, stormsbrothersjunk.com right now. Sign up on there for a free quote. Very easy to do. Or you can call them 303-736-9404. Again, 303-736-9404. Storms Bros Junk Removal. Put your junk in our trunk. Let's get back to Chad Brown. So obviously, if it's venomous, it's the fangs are going to go in and out easily. But if it's not, like say pythons have more of a barb on there and it kind of shreds if they pull out. Like if
Okay, so there are fixed fangs. Cobras have fixed fangs. They're longer teeth, but they're fixed. They don't move. But rattlesnakes, their fangs are laid back in their mouth, and they're able to put them forward and stab you with them. So their fangs are able to move, and they actually can function independently. So if you've ever seen a rattlesnake feed, it's able to use a fang to start pulling food into its mouth, and it alternates one fang or the other to pull food into its mouth. It's a pretty awesome thing. But to your point, boas and pythons, king snakes, milk snakes, snakes like that, they have fixed teeth, no fangs whatsoever. But tree pythons and tree boas have really long fangs, because if you bite something and it gets away, you don't have to go all the way down to the ground to pick it up. So they have really long teeth. So if you were to be bitten by a green tree python or an emerald tree boa and you ripped your hand away as it was biting you, those teeth are curved. So you're going to end up ripping your flesh while you're ripping your hand out of a python's or boa's mouth. And it's going to have a pretty nasty scar there, pretty nasty set of serrations. So it's actually best, if possible, when you're bitten by a boa or python, to be still and not rip your hand or arm out of its mouth, and get yourself a pin or some kind of tool, a screwdriver, so you can kind of unhook the teeth and get your arm or hand out.
okay. Yeah. I'll just do this. I'm going to run away because I do not want to get bit. I always see people that are like, anytime that I see a snake and I post a picture about it on social media, first of all, you get a bunch of people that think they know everything. And then two, they're like, oh, it's no big deal. Just go up to it and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'll just let it be. It's taking care of the mice. If there's mice in the area, I'm fine with it. It's one of those things. And partly because of you being on this show, I've kind of adapted that mentality. Because I've been a quote unquote pussy, according to certain friends of mine, that if I see a gardener snake, I kind of squeal. But I've learned that it's like they have a purpose. Just let them be. If they're not infiltrating your home or causing harm towards your animals or your kids, just let them be. Is basically the golden rule. Just whatever. Don't try to pick them up. Don't put them in a trash can. If anything, just call animal control and let them deal with it.
You are absolutely correct.
Chad, you know what? Fuck the NFL. We don't need to have you on to talk about the Broncos. We don't. Oh, the Broncos are Super Bowl contenders now because they got Jalen Waddle. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Snakes, that's what I care about today.
I'm happy I can download some of my snake knowledge to you, my friend.
By the way, I heard you on the radio, I think it was radio, doing color commentary this last, were you doing college or NFL? Because
I did both this year.
Okay, that's what confused me. You do an amazing job. I meant to text you. If I didn't text you, I meant to. You do a great job. Every time I hear you, I remember way back in the day when I got to work with you for the first time back at the radio station. We're in a production room, and there, I don't know if you're recording a commercial or, or a promo or something. And I was giving you feedback. And at first I was a little hesitant because one, you're gigantic in comparison to me. And I was like, he could hurt me very easily. But two, I was just like, I don't want to be a dick. And whatever feedback I gave you, and then I was like, I kind of was apologetic. And you said something that really stands out to me, and it's translated into my everyday life, especially me now being a baseball coach for my kids, is we all need to be coached sometimes. And
Hmm.
there's nothing wrong with taking some coaching. And it's good to be a coachable individual. Doesn't matter where you're at status wise. So I just want to say thank you for that. And it was a weird, brief moment, but it stands out to me because for all that you've accomplished, you were sitting here taking feedback from this miscellaneous dude in a production room, going, "Okay, I'll take the feedback. I want to be coached." And I was like, "That's pretty damn cool." So just had to put that out there. Really appreciate it. And I'm so proud of you every time. I know it means nothing, but I'm so proud of you every time I hear you on the radio and see you on TV doing shit. You're on CNN, you're their reptile guy too. So it's just really neat to see all you've accomplished and how much more you can stand to accomplish too. So I just had to put that out there. Thank you so much for joining the show. How can people get a hold of you on social media?
You can find me at Chad Brown 94 on X. That's really the only one that I do. But I have got a podcast, a couple of shows coming out starting May 1st. So I've dipped my toe into the water a number of times, and I've always said I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm practicing for something. I think this is what I've been practicing for. So some very
What's going to be the
interesting.
What's going to be the theme?
Well, various themes, but obviously it'll be around football. The animal shows will come later on. I've got some folks who are very interested in that, but everything from a daily. Here's my thoughts on the daily sports world to Broncos post game, CU previews and reviews. Um, Doing the one on the next play, which is a phrase that I heard from a coach. What's the most important play of the game? The next play. And it's will be a podcast series talking to coaches about these cliche sayings that they have and really expanding upon them and giving some depth and some understanding how it's specific for one moment. It's also global as well. And here's how you can use it away from sports. So these great sayings that coaches have told me over all the years that I played, how to implement those and put them into action in your life. So it should be some pretty interesting and fulfilling content.
All right, you guys, you got to follow Chad Brown. You got so much on your plate. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, man.
All right, see you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you so much to Chad Brown. Again, follow him on Twitter or X, whatever the heck you want to call it. Chad Brown 94. Again, Chad Brown 94 on Twitter. Great follow. Amazing human being, knows his stuff, and just so grateful that he had the time to spend with us and share some snake insight. Listen, I know it's not NFL, but boy, it's just so cool just when these guys, they're not just, meatheads talking football, right? He knows a lot of stuff when it comes to the snake world. So very cool. Thank you so much to Chad Brown. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Again, this show has been broadcasting from the Storms Bros Junk Removal Studios. Check them out at stormsbrothersjunk.com. Also, big thanks for presenting the interview to Roof Goat USA. Go to roofgoatusa.com right now and sign up for that free roof evaluation. They'll come out lickety split, take a look at your roof. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Big thanks to Chad Brown. It's to Huff Uncensored. Let's keep moving forward. I'll talk to you next time.